What up, fishing friends? It's Mr. Bass, and I am stoked today because I have a massive swim bait haul. Swim baits, glide baits, hard baits, soft baits, you name it, I got it in this haul, and it is sweet, sweet, sweet. It's a long video, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth it. And you are not going to believe the crazy swim bait I've got at the very end of this video. It's gonna blow your mind. So let's get to it. I thought the first one I would show you is from 86 Baits. At 86 Baits on Instagram. It's the Doomrider, which is a 7-inch handmade glide bait. This thing is the thread fin pattern, and it is just amazing. It is a real thing of beauty. Now, I've never fished a Doomrider before or an 86 Baits lure, but I've heard great things about these. And so this one came up. I found it, I just happened to get lucky and get one while they were up on their site, which is never very long. This thing is 7 inches long, and it weighs 2.6 ounces. It's a slow sinker. It has nice owner hooks on it. It's got stainless steel split rings, and of course he makes them right here in the good old US of A. Just I mean, look at the scale pattern on this bait. It looks so lifelike, so real, and it's got so many subtle colors sprinkled in through these scales that just make it look so natural. If you catch a fish, any kind of a fish, take a green bass, pull it out and look at it, it's not just one color. It's so many colors. And it's the same with a threadfin shad or any other kind of a bait fish. And he's just done an excellent job, in my opinion, of really making this thing look super lifelike. This is you can kind of see how thin it is. It's a thin, narrow glide bait. Definitely excited about the Doomrider. Next, from the hookup tackle, I got this baby. The Deps Slide Swimmer 145, and it's of course 145 millimeters. It weighs 1.8 ounces, and this is the Butch Brown American Shad color. And dude, I mean, this thing is gonna crush them. You guys that are real swim bait guys, you know everything there is to know about the Slide Swimmer. The Slide Swimmer, the Deps 250 in particular, has just been a fish killer forever. This little guy is a bite-sized morsel, man, but it's made the exact same way. It's really a special bait. It's that 145 millimeters translates into just over 5.5 inches long. So it's not very big, but it has a very nice wide glide, a big wide sweeping side to side motion. It's got a lot of draw power, It's gonna really be exciting to fish. It's got an ABS injected core, and then of course it's got this very nice plastic outer covering, just like the other Slide Swimmers, and it's great. And this color, this American Shad color, this color in particular would work in so many parts of the country, just literally everywhere. This is kind of what it looks like Up this way, like that. Just a quality swim bait. Let me show you how it compares in size to the 250. Here's the 250, here's the 145. Obviously, big difference, but I've got no doubt this little guy is going to crush them. Crush them. So, pretty excited to try this bad boy out. Here's a new lure on the market that I was really excited to give a try. The IU Clone 180 by Kasumi Design. Of course, this is a Japanese-made lure. Check that guy out. So this is 7 inches long, but it's not a very big profile, you know, if you look at it. It's got a nice marker on the top, identifying marker so that you can see it in the water. I like those. I like the fact that it comes factory like that. Weighs 2 ounces and it's a slow sinker. Look at the action of that tail. I'm trying to hold my hand still, and of course I'm not super steady, but look at the action on that tail. It is crazy. Now, one thing I am worried about is this is not a replaceable tail. So it's very possible that that thing is not going to hold up long term. It's super skinny, it's super soft, it's super subtle. But I'd say if you hit it in the wrong spot, you could lose the tail, and once you do that, this bait is done for. It's got a hard plastic core as well, and it's got a soft outer body, and this has got to be the softest outer body I've ever felt on a swim bait. Let me see if you can see. Watch me just kind of pinch it. You can pinch it completely up. I mean, look how soft it is. It's super soft and pliable. Feels great. I mean, it really does. Interested to see how this thing's going to hold up on the water. It comes with number 2 BKK hooks. This is the Imago color. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's pretty. I really like the high-vis markings on the back. Really nice. Excited to try out the IU Clone 180. All right, next up I got some wake baits, and this is the Attic Annie 175 wake bait. Radical animal. This, of course, is imported from Japan. This is natural pearl shad. It is a hard bait. It's 6.8 inches long. Weighs 1.59 ounces. It is a floater. It floats. It's got Cultiva number 2 hooks. It's got a single jointed body. But it has this free swinging tail, which is kind of unique. And look at how much that thing moves. And it's on there kind of like, it's not a split ring, but it's attached by wire. The tail is really hard. It's a super hard plastic. I think that thing is going to last a long time. It's got molded gill plates. It's got 3D eyes. It's got a pretty nice detailed scale finish on it. I don't know if it'll show up on here, but pretty nice finish. It makes a lot of clacking. They say that's one of the things about it, that it's a real clacker. Makes a lot of noise in the water and has a very erratic walking action to it. So that's natural pearl shad. I also got a darker one for low light conditions. This one, same bait, is called Night Glamour. And it looks like completely black, but there's a ton of purple in that. You can kind of see the back is very purple, and then it kind of transitions from this purple down to a black down to a dark green on the belly. I wish you could see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is a very, there's some of this dark green up here on the head as well. And then of course around the eyes, that red is kind of a nice accent. A little bit of chartreuse right here around the chin. Night Glamour, I think, is going to be very nice. So let me just show you both of them side by side. Pretty excited about the Annie 175 wake bait. I got a couple of Mike Bucca bull shads. The first is a 5-inch fast sink in gizzard shad. I'm not going to take this one out of the package. Most of you guys have seen it, but I will show you out of the package. The bigger one, I got the 8-inch slow sink in gizzard. And of course these baits have amazing action. They almost look like they'd be too mechanical, so many wires and you know, such a big gap, but I'm telling you, these things really, man, they're proven fish catchers. And they don't have incredible, sexy, super amazing color patterns, but the fish don't care about that. You know, what this is it's a very natural looking bait. And let's face it, you're fishing in clear water, natural probably matters a lot. It has very nice lifelike eyes. Of course, it's got very prominent gill plates. It's kind of got a green back, kind of like the green gizzard shad, and then it kind of transitions to more white shaddy, and then almost completely white on the belly. Their tails are kind of a fiber tail, and I think they hold up very well over time. And you know, it's really just any kind of a big shad imitator. A threadfin shad, blueback herring, a gizzard shad, a shiner. And these Buccas come with really nice big owner hooks and stainless steel hyperwire split rings. It weighs 1.5 ounces, and it's made out of premium high quality resin is what it's made out of. One really cool thing about these is that they're made to kind of have a nose down posture, and apparently that's kind of good. Makes them look like they're feeding nose down, and just adds to the fact that they look very lifelike and natural, and the bass just love them. Speaking of Bucca, I also have a Bucca Gill. This is a 5-inch slow sink in bluegill color. And you know, he does put more colors on the gill, but even something like his gill colors are very subtle. They're not in your face. But you know, this is definitely bluegillish. You know, it's got the green, it's got the blue around the chin and around these gill plates, and then down below it's got orange. It looks like a bluegill. It looks like a panfish. Slow sink, you know, so this is one I'm going to fish in the spring around the beds. I mean, for bed fishing bass, spawning bass, I mean, this has got to be a killer. I might show you this view here too, so you can get a little better idea of the blue and the orange. Great little swim bait. Absolutely love the Buccas. Are they the prettiest? the flashiest, the most glamorous, the sexiest? No. But they flat out catch fish. Next, the DRT Klash 9. 9-inch glide bait. This is the crappie color. This is a low float. And what low float means with the Klash is that it's a slow sinker. High float means it floats. Low float means it sinks slowly. As I said, it's 9 inches long. It's 4 ounces. So it's probably the heaviest one I've got today to show you. It's made out of an ABS plastic. It has 1/0 owner hooks. The lip is removable, and they even have different types of lips that you can buy for this that give it a different action. They also have a weed guard that you can buy that comes down and kind of protects from the front hook. This tail comes out, and this is the up position where it curves up a little bit. You can also turn it upside down so that it curves down. That gives it different action. And then they have a vertical tail that you can buy that inserts. This thing has so many different combinations of how you can retrieve it. Whether it's more like a glide bait, more like a crankbait, more like a spy bait. And it all has to do with the type of lip you have in there, or whether you just completely remove the lip, and what kind of tail and what direction you put the tail in. So pretty amazing bait. And go online and you'll see that the Klash 9 is definitely a fish catching bait. How about it, man? Pretty sweet. Crappie. This probably looks pretty familiar to one you've already seen. You may be saying, hey, you already showed us that. Well, kind of. This is the Attic Annie 175 MR swim bait. Technically, this is not a wake bait. It's a swim bait. Now, it looks very similar. It's the same size as the wake bait, but it does a few things just a little bit differently. And so I wanted to try the wake bait and the regular swim bait and see what the differences were. So the difference between the wake bait and this swim bait really isn't much difference. This is 6.8 inches long. It does weigh a little more, 1.9 ounces, but it floats. That's the main difference is this floats, and it will sink though on the retrieve. It sinks down to 5 feet with the bill. So the thought process here is, if you want it to sink, you just give it a regular medium retrieve sort of pace, and it's going to dive down. But if you want to dead stick it, you just stop and it's going to float back up to the top. You can keep it on the surface, do a little twitching, stop, and it's going to stay up there. But then it will dive with this bill. Really cool looking color. The other one that I have is that same color, the natural pearl shad. Of course, it's a loud clacker. It has a wide kicking motion. It's got the checkered scale pattern on it, which hopefully you can see if I move it around a little bit. The subtle scale patterns on both sides. Just really feels like a high quality bait, and really a pretty reasonable price. Let me show you side by side the swim bait versus the wake bait. They really look almost identical. It's just the angle of that blade that's different. The wake bait one is a little more prominent, as in straight down. Okay, next up, everybody's got to have one of these from 6 Sense Fishing. It's the Trace, made in China. So it's not sexy Japan, it's not made in America, it's not handmade. This is a factory product, the 6-inch Trace. But we do know that there is such a thing as really good factory-made swim baits. The Trace might be one of them. I don't know. I've not fished it yet. It's 6 inches long. It weighs 1.65 ounces. It's a slow sinker. This color is Sexified Chartreuse Shad. It's a little bright for a swim bait, but it's the only color I could find at the time. And I've got some darker waters. You know, normally you're going to fish a glide bait or a swim bait in kind of clear, relatively clear water. But some areas where I've got a little stain, I'll probably try the Trace. It has a rubbery tail, so it's plastic, and it's got, you know, 2 joints or 3 pieces here. And then it's got this rubbery tail that can be replaced. In fact, they give you 1 replacement tail. And of course, just like all 6-cent lures, nice colors, very nice detailing, you know. You've got raised gill plates here. You've got 3D eyes, beefy EWG nickel hooks, a knocker, and pretty much right out of the box, the Trace is ready to fish. And if you're an entry-level swim bait fisherman, the Trace may be a perfect one to get started in swim bait fishing or glide bait fishing. It's not very expensive. It's quality components. It's going to last you a long time. It's not very heavy, so you don't need a huge, massive swim bait rod. You can just use your heavy frogging rod or any of your other heavy flipping rods that you normally use. You don't need anything special as far as tackle and equipment. Just tie it on a heavy rod, throw it. It'll probably catch you fish, and catch you fish well. So that's the 6-cent Trace. Pretty sweet little bait. Okay, next up I've got the 9-inch Trout by JSJ Bait Company. This color is Phantom Dark Green. It's 9 inches long. It has a split tail design. It's made out of silicone. And they say it's super tough, super durable, super strong silicone. It has a 6/0 Mustad 3X hook in it, on the top. These are hand poured and hand painted. They also have an adjustable sink rate. Somehow you can modify the weight inside of it to adjust the sink rate. I don't know how to do that. I've got to dig into that and find out. But very natural looking colors for sure. Of course, it's beefy. It's a big bait. And I'm very interested to see how well the silicone holds up, especially on the tail. There's not a lot here. It's a pretty big, beefy tail, but there's a real skinny section right in here. Hopefully that withstands the beating that I hope it takes. Really cool looking, unique, handmade bait though. That's always fun. JSJ Baits 9-inch Trout. Okay, here's something that may be one of the most overrated baits out there. It's the Working Class Zero 7.5-inch Battle Shad. This color is silver. Made in the USA. It's a snagless swim bait. It weighs 2.5 ounces, and you need a 10/0 hook for it. They recommend the Owner Beast hook. and they have a stealth mode hook slot. And the hook slot on the Battle Shad is one of the big selling features of it. It has a great, let's see if you can see it, a great hook slot in here. The big massive cavity so that you can really rig it nicely. It runs great in the water. It's beautiful. It has amazing action. It's you know, it's fantastic. What's the problem? It's way overpriced. Way overpriced. And it's not way overpriced because it's so much better than everything else on the market. It's just because there's such a limited supply. It's all about supply and demand and hype. There's so much hype on these things. But really, until the pricing comes down, I'm probably not going to buy a lot more of these, even though I love them. I think they are great. For my money, and you know, I'll spend money on a swim bait, I just think these things are way, way, way overpriced. Would love to hear your opinion on the Battle Shad. It is an excellent bait for sure. I picked up a couple of other soft swim baits. This one is from Top Shelf Lures. And I learned about these basically through the Dark Horse Tackle subscription tackle box. This is the 5-inch tournament shad. This is a line through swim bait, hand poured. And I really like them, and they're apparently great fish catchers. So I got one of my Dark Horse Tackle subscription box, and then I bought another one. I'm just going to try these out, and I will let you know how it goes. Really cool little swim bait, and I love Scottsboro Tackle swim baits, and this is actually a new one. It's called the 6-inch Fatty. And this is a very popular color. It's one I like, called Mullen's Madness. And these are just great soft swim baits. They really, really have an incredible reputation of catching fish. And they're not insanely priced like the Battle Shad and the Citizens. Great action in the water. You can get a lot of different sizes. This 6-inch though, I think is just perfect for chasing donkeys, big fish. And runs great in the water, runs true in the water. Just super amazing action with this big tail. Colors are great. Everything about them, top quality, great lures. You can get these at Tackle Warehouse. Scottsboro Tackle. Okay, now for the creme de la creme. Roman made Negotiator, but this is not your everyday Negotiator. It's the Awabi Negotiator. And you may say, what's the difference? Well, they've taken the size, the Negotiator size, and they've tried to recreate this as closely to the mother as you can get. So the Awabi Negotiator is a miniature mother, and this thing is incredible. Of course, these are wooden baits. They are handmade from Japan. 7 inches long. It weighs 3 ounces. It's handcrafted wood, but here's the difference between the Awabi, the major difference anyway, and the regular Negotiator. Let me show you a regular Negotiator. Here's the regular Negotiator. Here's the Awabi. They look the same, but the regular Negotiator is wood through and through, and then it has the protective coatings that they put on it. But the Awabi is wood, but it is coated in abalone leather. Yes, boys and girls, this is a leather coated Swimbait. How crazy is that? Then it's treated, coated, and polished numerous times so that what the final product is a highly reflective coated layer that gives you incredible flash, yet looks incredibly lifelike and natural. Is that sick or what? And I got two of them. I got two different colors here. I've got bass. Check that thing out. Jeez. Is that beautiful or what? Check it. The bass color. I mean, both of them. They're just incredible. The beauty of these baits off the charts. I'll show you the regular bass one up a little closer since oh my goodness, man. I can't wait to fish them. I'm definitely fishing them. I know they're pricey. I know a lot of people want to collect them, but I am going to fish them. Bass and pearl bass. The Negotiator. Awabi. Okay, my final item in this swim bait haul is something a little quirky and kind of cool. This is by a company called Fish Arrow. They've been around for about 20 years. They're a Japanese-made company. They make a lot of custom baits. For their 20th year anniversary, they made this crazy thing. It's called the Wing Dachs. It's a topwater wing dachshund dog. Can you believe this? Yeah. That's what it is. My stupid, there's a light right. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Of course, this is imported from Japan. It's handmade out of wood. The ears and the collar are made from leather. It floats. It's a topwater walking bait, crawling bait. You know what it is? It's a massive jitterbug. Same sort of action. And it has these wings, these Deka Dodge wings made by Ray Japan. They're one of the, if not the most premier wing makers of baits with wings. 5.5 inches, 2 ounces, and has a propeller in the tail. Check this thing out. Is that crazy? Or what? There's your propeller. Big beefy hooks. You can see the leather ears and collar, dog collar. Got some tongue action on this side. Of course, the wings kind of fold up a little and then they open out. Dude, I want to fish the thing, but it's, you know, it's this limited edition premier bait, but it's so cool. This color is red. It looks really mostly brown, but they call it red. It's silent, but there's so much hardware and stuff on it, you know it's going to make quite a bit of noise and splash in the water anyway. But that is the Wing Dachs by Fish Arrow. What a crazy, crazy lure. Man, that was fun. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed that. I love cool lures. I love cool swim baits, wake baits, glide baits. handmade, hand poured, all that kind of stuff is really, really fun, cool, and awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to see in the comments, what was your favorite bait that I posted today? Which one did you like the most? And what are your suggestions of other things I ought to try out in the future? Hope this was informative, helpful, and fun. If so, please subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Until next time, this is Mr. Bass. Happy swim bait fishing.